Welcome to The Randy Report. I'm Randy Slavacek, your host. I'm also the writer and editor of therandyreport.com, where you can find me every single day on the internet reporting on the daily news cycle in terms of politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community. In this week's headlines, a new study shows surprising results. Gay male couples are the least likely to part ways. High school students in Massachusetts will soon have courses that include LGBTQ history and writings by gay authors. The Trump administration has launched a new attack on transgender people. Prince Harry and Meghan Merkle have reaffirmed their commitment to LGBTQ rights. And American Idol's first drag queen contestant is in the top 10. All that and more in this episode of The Randy Report. High school students in Massachusetts will soon have access to LGBTQ-themed history, English, and health education this fall in an effort to help all students see themselves in the courses they study. The Boston Herald reports the curriculum will be released this summer. It will feature lessons on the 1969 Stonewall riots and writings by gay and lesbian authors such as Langston Hughes and Willa Cather. It'll also include lessons like how Nick Carraway's love for Jay Gatsby may have influenced themes in The Great Gatsby. Organizers say if students don't see themselves in the curriculum, they are not as likely to pay attention, and LGBT-oriented material has been highly sought after by teachers. The Herald went on to quote teachers who say students have come back after graduating and told them how much it helped them to discuss literature and history that included facts such as poet Walt Whitman being gay. The new gay-themed curriculum will not be required for all schools to teach. The choice to offer the courses will be left to local school districts. According to a 2015 study, 11% of high school students in Massachusetts identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, or questioning their sexual orientation. Almost 3% identify as transgender. Now, get ready to hear from the haters who will label this as gay indoctrination in 3, 2, 1. And speaking of haters, Donald Trump's Department of Health and Human Services is considering rolling back important protections for transgender people. Back in 2016, rules and regulations known as Section 1557 of the Affordable Care Act were issued by the Obama administration, which specifically protected individuals from discrimination on the basis of gender identity and sex stereotyping. Now, the Trump administration says they may have to change the rule based on a ruling from a federal judge in Texas. Under the existing rule, health insurers cannot place arbitrary limits or restrictions on health services that help a person transition from one gender to another, such as counseling or psychotherapy, hormone therapy, or a variety of surgical treatments. Some insurers attempted to dodge coverage for these patients, saying the treatments were cosmetic. This new line of attack is just one more in a long list of transphobic moves initiated since Donald Trump took office. In addition to scaling back healthcare regulations, Trump has also proposed banning openly transgender people from serving in the U.S. military. Plus, Trump's education department has repealed protections allowing transgender students access to school bathrooms that align with their gender identity. This next item was a surprise to me. A study from the Williams Institute at UCLA followed more than 500 Vermont couples, including gay, lesbian, and heterosexual relationships, over a 12-year period. Researchers found that overall, gay male couples were the least likely to part ways. Surprisingly, lesbians were found to be twice as likely as gay men to end their relationships, and 1.5 times as likely as heterosexuals. I think I somehow always had the sense that lesbian couples stayed together longer due to nesting and what I thought were natural instincts to create and protect a home life. Color me wrong. One of the authors of the report, Esther Rothblum, wrote, quote, "Other studies on heterosexual couples have found that women have higher standards for relationship quality than men. We suspect that similar dynamics may be at play with the lesbian couples in our study, leading to the higher dissolution rate." End quote. Higher standards sounds to me like men, both gay and straight, might be more comfortable accepting their situations as is and perhaps letting minor issues slide by rather than upending home life over quality relationship obstacles. I'm not a sociologist, though. This report mirrors a 2017 study from the United Kingdom. In 2014, the year marriage equality came to the UK, 1,400 same-sex marriages took place. But by 2016, 3/4 of those marriages that ended in divorce were between women. And a 2013 study of civil partnerships in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark showed lesbian women were twice as likely to dissolve their same-sex partnerships as men. Additionally, the Williams Institute study found that longer relationships between older partners, and relationships between highly educated partners were more likely to stand the test of time. A few other findings. Each year of relationship length reduced the odds of a breakup by 9%. Each year of age lowered the likelihood of a breakup by 2%. Other factors, and this surprised me, like having children or being legally recognized as partners, had little to no effect on termination rates. Wow, color me surprised. As longtime readers of the Randy Report know, I'm a big fan of woofy Prince Harry. And I've never missed an episode of the USA Network TV series Suits. So of course I'm thrilled about the upcoming May 18th wedding of Suits star Meghan Merkle and Prince Harry. And they're both big LGBTQ allies. Can it get any better? The gorgeous young couple, who will be getting married in less than a month, recently reaffirmed their commitment of support to the LGBTQ community. Last week, the couple spoke about LGBTQ issues with delegates at the Commonwealth Youth Forum in England. Merkel expressed her support while speaking to Australian Jacob Thomas, who was honored with the Queen's Young Leaders Award for helping to reduce the suicide rate within the LGBTQ community in Australia. Thomas told reporters after meeting with her that, quote, "Miss Merkel said, and these were her exact words, 'This is a basic human rights issue, not one about sexuality.'" And Prince Harry echoed those sentiments when it came to supporting LGBTQ issues. Jacob said Harry found it, quote, "amazing that 10 or so years ago we wouldn't even be having this conversation, and how incredible it was that we now were." Another participant in the forum, LGBTQ activist Jonah Chinga of Kenya, told the press, quote, "Both Prince Harry and Miss Merkel said they would put LGBT issues at the front of their work." Harry and Meghan both say they plan to prioritize working with the LGBTQ community following their wedding, as they begin to really dive into various charitable pursuits. There was quite the dramatic moment Monday night on American Idol as Ada Vox, the drag persona of Adam Sanders, found herself without enough viewer votes to automatically be advanced to the top 10. So, the San Antonio native had to sing for her life. The judges were given the power to save 4 contestants from elimination and head into the top 10. Choosing the apropos "and I'm telling you I'm not going" from Dreamgirls, Ada wowed the judges yet again. As an emotional Vox waited to hear her fate, Katy Perry quieted the crowd and said, "I don't know everything, I've got a lot to learn, but I have worked my butt off for over 10 years in the spotlight, and these gentlemen on my side," pointing to Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan, "all of us collectively together have how many years? Maybe 60 collectively? I think we do know talent when we see it. I would say that we would like to make an executive decision right now that Ada, you get that seat, baby." And with that, Lionel Richie and Luke Bryan joined Perry in pointing to the area where the top 10 contestants were sitting. "America, we have our first American Idol top 10 drag contestant, Miss Ada Vox." And that brings me to the end of this episode of the Randy Report. If you enjoy catching up on LGBTQ political and entertainment news in a quick podcast, I'd appreciate it if you would share the Randy Report with your friends. I like to think of this podcast as the 60 minutes of gay news, only shorter. And remember, you can find me every single day on the internet at therandyreport.com, where I cover the daily news cycle regarding politics, pop culture, and entertainment news of interest to the LGBTQ community. Thanks for listening, folks. See you next time.